Chocolate is so delicious and smooth that it has been called. What many do not know is that chocolate, when/if consumed in moderation, they help to not only protect our cells from damage, but also defend our bodies. However, as with all things, chocolates are made with refined sugars that give you an energy boost initially, but leave you feeling sluggish afterwards. Since they are the largest fish in the ocean, they feed on these tiny plants and animals, along with any small fish. Whale sharks have few predators, thanks to their huge size. More needs to be done to ensure their protection, otherwise they will die off. One of the things to consider when deciding whether or not to buy your child a handphone is your child's age. Equipped with time management skills. Sitting on the fence. Your child might abuse this newfound freedom. Best things in life are free. You get what you pay for with these freebies. Diagnosed with dementia. There is the emotional/mental/psychological toll, which can lead to drift away into silence. Taught me valuable lessons. Whom the butcher's wife having dinner with, and whose cousin was in trouble. To put it plainly, waddling up/down the corridor. She had run out of sugar. Poking that nose of hers. That's a bit too harsh/mean/cruel. With no husband, nor children, to fuss over. Inside our houses, outdoors on bushes, in our parks or gardens. Run away at the sight. Outdoor spiders tend to feed on nasty pests. Spiders inject a sort of venom that liquefies their food so that they can suck it up. Interestingly, although spiders are known for spinning webs, not all spiders make webs. The tarantula sinks its fangs into its victim and injects the deadly venom. Despite having all the riches in the world, you have to learn to stand up for yourself. Thinking they could push him around. She was an open book. Uncle Goo is best known for his Kopi Guyu. Getting up close and personal with their beloved idols. Lift his spirits. Detrimental to one's health. It took a big leap of faith to decide. Overcome several major setbacks faced in life. Decided to hone his life skills. The coach hoped he could impart to the children the understanding. Considering a career in the police force. Her words of advice fell on deaf ears. Aubang dismissed the thought. The athlete pressed on despite the torrential rain. The thought of becoming prominent in speaking Mandarin is hardly associated with fun. The number of people signing up for K-pop music video classes is on the rise. Youths are prone to becoming victims of cyberbullying. Made significant findings. The use of technology is becoming more prevalent in businesses. If we do not resolve this problem, it will soon turn into a hassle. Children tend to imitate the behavior. Measures must be taken to ensure. The volunteers distributed supplies to the needy. She held an interest in music. She decided to pursue her interest in music. Mrs. Chiang was upset to find that she faced expensive medical costs. Dedicated to other families in similar circumstances. Invest his money in cryptocurrency. Faced objections from his parents. Concerned about their child's health. Decided to heed his mother's advice. Live with integrity so that he would have a clear conscience. Take her words of advice. Decided to regain his health. We were taken aback. To have a habit of washing their own dishes. His arrogance led to his downfall. The local children were deprived of free time. Everyone entered into the spirit of Chinese New Year. Students today benefit from improved school facilities. Set aside some funds. Changing demands of society. Aspires to become a private banker. Equipped with their fire hoses. Aims to help. Learn more about. Looking forward to taking in the sights and sounds. Sign up for the activity. Interacted with each other. Comfortable with one another. Looked forward to embarking on. Let's get started on the project. The hippos emerge from the bushes. Stop wallowing in self-pity. The complimentary chocolate bars are limited to those who have completed their work. the difficulty I would face in advance. Reach out to the local community. Tend to be vulnerable to diseases. Graduate with first-class honors. Your impression on him is based on that few minutes. The participants for the workshop varied from teenagers to parents. Get rid of the stain. The prefect stepped in to take responsibility. How the name of this odd animal came about. Engage in everyday acts of kindness. He would be there in spurts. On the other hand, we were told to choose from. Prior to the audition, we researched the information. He has to make the journey to school by foot. Compared to that boy, along the way, this job is not only physically demanding. The energy expended on scolding him. He began his route to recovery slowly and steadily. Loved the urban setting of city life. As the temperatures dipped, she would just withdraw into her shell. Among peers his age, he juts out as he is incredibly tall. Touted as a must-see landmark of Chinatown. Drawn to honey. Plays an important role. Recognized as obviously well acquainted with the alarm system. At the mercy of the discipline master. Left traces of food in the classroom. She felt compelled to agree to his request. Get down on all fours to clean the toilet floor. Began advancing towards. Under the care of Auntie Ju. Was captured by. In the scorching heat. We visited the rural areas of Japan. They sped furiously away from the police. In her honor, they decided to carve a huge donut. The building fell into disrepair. Littered with debris. Young children tend to act up. Finally managed to beat out 8 other teams. Struggling to break into the industry. The tycoon decided to cut off funding. He decided to give back to society. The smoking ban kicked in. Rules and regulations laid down by the government. She made out a check. They should not mess with her. Learning to pick himself up. The doctor tried to play down the severity of his illness. when the train pulled over their destination. Upon being convicted, he was put away for 2 years. The pet owners had no choice but to put down their beloved companion. When put in practice, the plans were put forward by the students. Hillary Clinton was run down by Trump supporters. Run with the instructions. The effects of climate change have set in. His results speak for themselves. Taught to stand up to cyberbullies. Begun to take to starting their journey. Students seem to turn in only after 11 p.m. Washed up on shore. They thought through all the scenarios. Faced similar circumstances. Stand up for himself. Pushed around by his peers. Best known for his roles. His words of advice. Its findings are significant. Technology becoming more prevalent. Cases of cyberbullying are on the rise. Parents are becoming increasingly worried about. She faced objections from her parents. She had a habit of noting down interesting recipes. Since she held an interest in, she decided to pursue this interest. Considering a career in the food and beverage industry. Arson as the cause of fire. To prevent the spread of the virus. The students suit up to look their best for prom night. Bring hope to patients. Feel worn out. Such as a doctor having to suit up. Inquire about their symptoms. Surgeons suit up in sterile gowns. Originated from. Bok Kak Tay stallholder in Chonghua, 73. Who also sells pig organ soup. Senior Minister Lee Hsien Loong, who is also an MP for Ong Mo Kio GRC, visited the premises. To remember when leaving the house. Inspired/motivated to create the app. His age has been an advantage. He asked ChatGPT around 1,000 coding-related questions. According to his theory, time travel is possible if one is able to travel faster than the speed of light. Though the idea of time travel is intriguing, more controversial issues follow the possibility of time travel. offered help, do not, may not, will not. Come up with excuses. If the other party rejected them. In a hurry. In a rush. If everyone has the same. Gracious society. Cannot be replaced by. The person who receives help. Let's all pitch in. Mr. Onuki also uses the new slideshow app, which stops him. Mr. Suzuki said that although the hurdles are high to becoming an elderly app developer, the more he delved deeper, the more fun he had. Got her first lesson in angling from her father, who would go on fishing trips. Decided to join angling enthusiast groups online in a bid to start fishing. She has been on around 10 overseas fishing trips to Malaysia and Indonesia with like-minded anglers. Cats of beauty, strength, and majesty, tigers are masters of all and subjects to none, with one notable exception, the human predator. It used to be found. Adapt to a variety of terrain with different climates/temperatures. As they lie in wait. Tigers are solitary creatures, unlike other big cats. For the first/initial 2 or 3 years. That way much/even/far more than. It is an unfortunate fact. If we do not put an end to. Should that happen? Become extinct or are nearing/facing extinction. A species becomes extinct within 10 million years of its first appearance, which took place some 66 million years ago. An asteroid had hit/impacted the Earth. Caused a great change in climate/temperature. Scientists are in agreement on the prime cause, the human race. Ensure a steady supply of the animal's food. Australians are encouraged to plant eucalyptus trees in their backyards. We also need to protect/preserve the animals' habitats as much as possible. There are captive breeding programs aimed at helping critically endangered species. Many 8 to 15-year-old gamers spend, on average, 20 hours a week. Nowadays, they are much more complex. Positive and negative effects. The lack of social interaction. Compulsive/obsessive/excessive gaming. On the flip side,
the fat tissue is green because the adult turtle's diet consists of seagrass and algae. The Earth was once thought/believed to be flat. Many people were convinced/sure that if a ship sailed far enough to the end of the Earth, it would fall over the edge of the Earth. Gravity is a natural force that pulls objects towards the Earth. However, the law of gravity does not appear to work on gravity hills. Several other such locations/places/areas/sites were also reported. Witnesses/people saw cars rolling up or water flowing up. Measurements were taken up the slope. The findings/results were surprising. What our eyes perceived/saw as a rise was in fact a decline. It was merely/purely/just an optical illusion. It was explained that the landscape, the bend of the tress, the shape of the hill, which caused our eyes to see otherwise/differently. Many gravity hills have been brought to our attention, although not all have been thoroughly investigated/explored. Though explained, these sites continue to attract and fascinate/captivate people today. The great inventor of the piano was an Italian instrument maker. When he was 35 years old, he relocated to Florence, another Italian city, to work for Prince Ferdinando de' Medici as a designer and keeper of keyboard instruments. Though his invention was a breakthrough, some of the musicians found the then piano not user-friendly and considered the sounds produced by the different keys too similar to one another. A German organ builder, Gottfried Silbermann, continued/started to work on Cristofori's existing/original/initial design and successfully invented a piano in the 1730s that was identical/similar to the contemporary piano. The most unusual feature/characteristic of a chameleon is its ability to change the color of its body to suit/match the environment. The amount of light and temperature in an environment are some of the factors/reasons that cause the change of color on a chameleon's body. This unique/interesting/fascinating ability is known as camouflage. Chameleons, a member of the lizard family, use this technique to keep themselves safe from their predators. Similarly, chameleons use this technique to catch their prey. Very often, their prey are unaware of their presence. Chameleons have eyes that move/work/function independently of each other. In other words, chameleons can look in two directions at the same time. The chameleons are rather amazing/interesting/fascinating creatures, are they not?
if your fear of heights is so extreme that it interferes with your enjoyment of everyday activities, you might have acrophobia. You may have to seek specialized treatment for the phobia, since you have feelings of extreme stress from just thinking about being at a certain height. If your fear of heights is not quite as severe as this, you may be able to work towards easing any discomfort you feel. On the other hand, if your discomfort is exceedingly severe and you cannot face it yourself, you would have to treat it with medication. Relaxation activities, like yoga or meditation, can help you to manage the fear, anxiety that you face daily. Such practices can help you become more sensitive to how your emotions are linked to your breathing and heart rate. With regular exercise, getting plenty of sleep and maintaining a healthy diet are all great ways to regulate your body to cope with phobia and anxiety. However, a law was passed in Singapore that children in their school uniforms would not be granted admission. The most common kind are upright, tall boxes with a monitor and controls in front. Some machines are occasionally in smaller boxes with a flat, clear glass top where the player sits at the machine playing it, looking down. This style of arcade game is known as the tabletop arcade machine. While arcade games are very popular with youngsters nowadays, they are not universally liked. Some pedometers count the number of steps walked, while others count the distance walked in kilometers. People around the world put on the pedometer every day, from morning to night, to keep track of how much they move each day. The pedometer allows/helps them to manage their activity levels, reminding them to sit less and move about more. In the 1960s, Japanese researchers became interested in finding out how much people in Japan walk each day. They improved on pedometers and made them more accurate and user-friendly, so that anyone, young or old, could track their daily mileage on foot. This photo taken on May 4 shows tourists riding a boat among the trees. The remote village has made great progress by combining agriculture and tourism, placing equal emphasis on increasing the income of its people as well as protecting the environment. Connecting two mountain peaks, the bridge is 721 m long and rises 95 m above the valley, and its walkway measures just 1.2 m wide. After crossing the valley to the other side of the bridge, visitors can discover the history of the area via a 2 km educational nature trail called the Bridge of Time. A group of environmentalists and cave enthusiasts had brought the case to court, arguing that the construction of Section 5 would harm the jungle it will run through and the network of caves which lies beneath it. Building work would result in the cutting down of trees, the destruction of flora and native species, and will damage the cave system, which has been created over millions of years. Environmentalists point out that caves are home to animals, such as bats and blind cavefish, and are also places of refuge for jaguars, which go there to drink water. The recent flooding in the states of New South Wales and Queensland has killed at least 20 people, damaged and destroyed thousands of homes, caused mass evacuations, and led to damage worth at least $5 billion. In Sydney this week, evacuation orders were issued for suburbs covering at least 40,000 people as thousands of properties experienced power blackouts. In Brisbane, where about 20,000 homes were damaged, Navy ships were deployed this week to assist with the recovery and repairs. Miss Lim, who works in marketing, said her apartment was on the 6th floor and was not affected, but other homes and shops were damaged and the neighborhood lost electricity for a week. In Brisbane, where about 20,000 homes were damaged, Navy ships were deployed this week to assist with the recovery and repairs. Not having power for a week was challenging, especially as I run a business, she said. Once the floodwaters subsided, everyone pitched in and helped out. It sits on a river and has had 29 serious floods since 1870. But none was as devastating as the disaster in recent weeks, in which floodwaters peaked at 14.4 m, smashing the record of 12.3 m in 1954. Mr. Patrick Tatum, who lives on a bushland property and off of Lismore, described watching a nearby field go from half-flooded to fully submerged within just an hour as the floodwaters caused surf waves. The water across the paddock was like a storm-tossed ocean, he told the Sydney Morning Herald. Smoking is currently not allowed/permitted at more than 49,000 places, both indoors and outdoors. Exposure to secondhand smoke, for adults, can cause coronary heart disease, stroke, lung cancer and other diseases. Some, like Madam Chia Au Kim, an 85-year-old retired driver, who is a regular at an open-air food court in Bendemeer, is unbothered by the smoke from the makeshift smoking corner nearby, as Singaporeans these days are more considerate and are aware of the environment, so they don't smoke near non-smokers, if they can. He and his friends make it a point to dispose of the cigarette butts properly, to prevent fire hazards. Miss Honey's heart also especially went out to single parents. After the stall lowered its prices, footfall increased, but earnings took a hit by almost half, but she still wants to do what she can for the community. Despite naysayers, his wife Wo Win Tan shares his confidence in their 5-year-old son, Abayan Imtios Kais. Mr. Zikri and Abayan will embark on their record-breaking bid in April. According to the Singapore Book of Records, the current record is held by Om Madan Garg, who was 6 years and 6 months old when he trekked with his parents to South Base Camp in Nepal at an altitude of 5,364 m in October 2022. Abayan's parents' belief in him stems from a yoga retreat they organized in Nepal's Nagarko area, which looks out to the Himalayas, in November 2022. The couple recall how Abayan, about 4.5 then, easily managed the hilly 12 km hikes, which left older participants panting. He was climbing door grilles and playground equipment at 9 months old, even before he could walk. Meanwhile, training for trekking to the base camp of the world's tallest mountain above sea level has begun in earnest. They also climbed the stairs at the Skyville at Dawson Housing Board Flats, which are 47 stories high. Miss Wo, a yoga instructor, has also been teaching Abayan breathing techniques to help him deal with altitudes. The expedition to and from Everest Base Camp will take about 12 days, with the pair trekking 10 to 12 kilometers each day, accompanied by porters and guides.